Hi, my name is Chris Van Dusen. I'm an author illustrator. I live in Camden, Maine, and I'm here at Books Etc. in Falmouth, and we just had a book signing, and I want to talk a little bit about a couple of books that I've worked on. The latest book that I've written and illustrated is called If I Built a Car. It came out in 2005. It was really inspired by Dr. Seuss. He wrote a couple of books one was called If I Ran the Zoo, and one was called If I Ran the Circus. And I really liked those books as kids. I like them now too. And I sort of based this book on that formula, the way Dr. Seuss wrote those stories. Because it was so inspired by Dr. Seuss, I put a couple nods in this book and some of the illustrations that are sort of a tribute to Dr. Seuss. Here's one of the contraptions in the book. This is called the instant snack bar that Jack has put in his car rather. And I added things like the gloves on the little hands because Dr. Seuss always did things like that. There are a couple other things I put in the illustrations that I just wanted to point out to you. They're kind of fun to see and look for if you ever look through this book. This is the second illustration in the book. This is when Jack is in his room and he's designing his car, his imaginary car. And just for fun, over here in Jack's bookcase, I don't know if you can see that, but I decided to put my two previous books in Jack's bookcase. So Jack, a character in my book, is reading my other books. I thought that'd be sort of fun. Later on in the book, when Jack is showing his car to his dad, they go across a lake and they actually almost run into a character from my first book, Mr. McGee, who's in the lake. And when I read this to kids at schools, they always sort of, freak out and say, "Hey, there's Mr. McGee" in the picture when we get to this page. But anyway, this is just kind of a fun book, all about using your imagination and designing and creating your own things. The other book I want to show you is a book that just came out this fall, fall 2008, to coincide with the election. It's called Our White House, Looking In, Looking Out. It was published by Candlewick, and it's not all my work. It's a collection of different authors and illustrators, and they've wrote stories about the presidents that have lived in the White House and what has taken place there. Just trying to find my picture here really quickly. I was assigned Teddy Roosevelt, and this is the picture I did for the book. This shows Teddy Roosevelt and all his kids inside the White House at a certain staircase in the White House. I actually made the staircase a lot wider than it actually is in the White House because I wanted to put all these animals in there. And the reason all the animals are in there is because there's a story that goes along with this illustration, and it's about all the pets, the exotic pets that Teddy Roosevelt's kids had. They had flying squirrels and macaws and snakes and kangaroo rats. I mean, just a wild selection of animals. And one of the things they had was a Shetland pony named Algonquin. And the story that follows this illustration is about Teddy Roosevelt's son, Archie, was sick upstairs in the White House. He had the flu or the cold, and he was in bed. And his brothers and sisters wanted to cheer him up. So they snuck the horse into the White House, took him upstairs in the elevator, and walked in Archie's room and brought the horse right into Archie's room. So that's sort of what I've shown here, is Archie coming down the staircase on his horse and the president laughing hysterically. He had a great sense of humor. He loved sort of the childhood antics and all the things that were going on in the White House. So that's what I really tried to depict in this illustration. This is a wonderful book. It's really fun and it's worth checking out. Thanks for having me.